Hello .NET Conf, my name is Ed Charbeneau. I'm a Microsoft MVP and Developer Advocate here at Progress. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you tag helpers. This is a new feature that shipped with ASP.NET Core, and it's continued to improve with each release. It's also gained support from third-party developers like us here at Progress. So let's look at some demos today that are going to introduce you to tag helpers and make you more productive with your ASP.NET Core apps. So for today's application, we're going to use the Contoso University app. Now, this is an app that is in the ASP.NET Core documentation, and it's there to help developers get started with ASP.NET Core. I have my Visual Studio Editor open here on the left, and my Edge browser open on the right, so when I make changes to the application, you can see them immediately refresh in the browser. So on the student body statistics page, what I'd like to do is add a link to the bottom of the page that would send the user to the home page. Now, we would normally do this with an HTML helper. So we would say @html.actionLink, and we'll set the text to that link to return home. And the controller action is going to be the index. Now you can see the link came up on the page here, but the problem is going to be when I want to add a CSS class to this. I want to make this look like a button using my bootstrap classes, and this is where HTML helpers become pretty difficult to understand. So let's take a look at what a HTML helper would look like if we wanted to add a bootstrap class. So again, we have @HTML action link, the text is return home, and our index is the same, but we have to satisfy all of these parameters to get to our CSS class. And then once we do, we have to create an anonymous object, and we have to escape the keyword class. Then we can finally set the text of button-info that belongs to our bootstrap classes. Now, also, it's worth pointing out that if I'm in this class and I'm typing in the class names, I don't get any IntelliSense for this. So I don't get help remembering all of these CSS classes that exist in the Bootstrap library. So how can we make this easier? Well, we're going to add an HTML helper, or a tag helper, the new feature that came with ASP.NET Core, and it's going to make this a lot easier. So I'm going to replace this action link with a tag helper. Now notice it's very simple. It's just basic HTML. I have an anchor tag, and then I have these nice attributes I can use. I can say ASP-action, and then I can call out my controller action of index, and then I can just use regular HTML to style the button. So I can say class, I can say button, button-info, and notice I get IntelliSense in this attribute. So that will render that same exact button that we had before on our web page. So now we have our student body statistics page. It's very basic, very boring. What we're doing is we have a table, and then we iterate over the model and render out the values from the properties on the model. What I want to do is give this a nice visual user interface. I want to add a chart component here. And I'll do that using Telerik UI for ASP.NET Core because it has over 60 tag helpers that can help you build things like charts and graphs and grids and all of those rich UI components that you need for an application. So let's take out all of this HTML here and replace it with some tag helpers. And my Telerik UI for ASP.NET Core comes with the Kendo UI tag helpers. And I have Kendo-chart here, and I can set up some really simple properties on this chart by just specifying tags and attributes. So I can give it a chart title and set the text to total enrollments per year. Then I can tell it where to find my model data, and it renders out this nice looking chart user interface. So that's how tag helpers can help you be more efficient in building nice user interfaces for your applications. If you'd like to give these controls a try, go to telerik.com and click on the Start Your Free Trial and get a free trial of the Telerik UI for ASP.NET Core and check out our tag helpers. Thanks everybody, and enjoy the rest of .NET Conf.